Recently, a highly revealing and ruthless exercise was conducted using Claude 4.6 Extended. The AI was asked to map every single function within the human resource department. For each function, it was asked to calculate mathematically how much of the workload AI can theoretically absorb versus how much it is actually executing today. The results are sitting on the desk of the CEOs across the globe right now, and they are terrifying for average HR administrator. According to the data, the payroll, compliance, and HR operations currently sit at 88% to 93% AI capability index. Let me translate that for you. If your entire professional identity is wrapped up in processing leave requests, calculating end-of-service benefit, answering basic policy questions, or auditing compliance spreadsheets, over 90% of your job is now a standard software feature. AI has completely absorbed the repetitive administrative load of the HR function. The traditional personal department is officially dead. But within that exact same data set, something incredible, beautiful emerged. As the administrative noise was cleared away, a few specific areas stood out where being irreplaceable, messily intuitive human still matters more than ever. Today, we are completely redefining the architecture of human resources in 2026. I am going to break down the exact dividing line between what the machine takes and what the human keep. We will analyze the concept of the floor versus the ceiling, and most importantly, I'm going to give you the exact uncompromising retraining protocol you need to execute right now to ensure you are future ready. Grab a notebook. It is time to stop operating like an administrator and start acting like a human capital architect. Welcome back. I'm Dr. HR. For those analyzing my frameworks for the very first time, you must understand the exact lens through which I view the corporate labor market and the HR function specifically. I do not give the emotional, academic, or feel-good HR advice. I look at human resources as a structural algorithmic systems of risk mitigation, financial leverage, and human capital architecture. My foundation is deeply rooted in system architecture. I hold bachelor's in engineering, specifically computer science. I paired that aggressively analytical algorithmic mindset with a master's in human resource management from prestigious Tata Institute of Social Sciences (TISS) in Mumbai, and eventually I earned my PhD in HR. I have operated on the ground here in Dubai since 2010. But the complex human capital systems are consulting for over 20 apex corporate entities across the Middle East. I learned exactly how institutional algorithm calculates the value and how they mitigate risk during a squeeze. I do not look at HR as a people function. I look at an industrial supply chain of human capability. My background in computer sciences means I understand exactly how the AI code works, and my PhD in HR means I know exactly what the code can never replace. When a CEO looks at an HR department today, they are looking for ROI. If your HR team is just pushing paper, you are at overhead expense waiting to be automated. The AI wave is not a threat to elite HR professionals. It is an ultimate liberation. It frees up your calendar from the mundane so you can finally execute the judgment, manage the exception, and provide the high-level advisory work that actually requires a human expert. Let us break down the 5 pillars of the new HR reality and exactly where the human premium lives. Phase 1. The irreducible human premium, the 5 pillars. Claude 4.6 analysis revealed 5 distinct domains where AI hits a hard, impenetrable wall. In these areas, the machine can build the framework, but only a biological human can execute the outcome. 1. The HR business partnering, the politics of the capital. An AI can pull the attrition data in 3 seconds. It can draft a quarterly communication email. It can generate predictive reports on flight risk across your engineering team. But an AI cannot sit in a boardroom, read the micro expression of a defensive chief operating officer, and navigate the fragile corporate politics required to actually change the operational structure. Only a human HR business partner can bring the deep organizational knowledge, the nuanced political awareness, and the gravitas required to force executive to act on perspective shared. You do not learn political capital through a large language model. You build it through years of human observation, relationship investment, and consequential high-stake judgment call. 2. Talent acquisition, the nuances of the culture and the close. Screening resumes, scheduling interviews, sending out generic rejection emails. This is a heavily AI-driven today and will be entirely automated tomorrow. But what can AI not do? An AI cannot understand what culture add. truly means for a specific high-stress development pod that has been battling burnout. An AI cannot spend 2 years quietly building a relationship with a passive elite chief technological officer working for your competitor, taking them to coffee in DIFC and understanding their underlying career frustration. An AI cannot sit across from a senior executive and navigate a complex, highly emotional offer negotiation. Sourcing is automated. Closing is fiercely human. 3. Performance management and architecture of courage. We all know the misery of performance review cycles. The forms, the documentation, the 360-degree feedback collation. AI can absolutely do all of it. It will write the rubrics, summarize the feedback across 10,000-person organization in seconds. What remains? Helping a terrified middle manager find the actual courage to sit down with a failing employee and have an honest, uncomfortable, career-altering conversation. AI can write the performance improvement framework perfectly. It cannot provide the human courage required to look someone in the eye, deliver difficult truth, and hold them accountable. 4. Employee relations. The weight of the truth. This is where the intersection of the human psychology and the structural risk become paramount. Every single investigation, every grievance involves a specific human being, specific power dynamics, and immense emotional stakes. No two cases are ever mathematically the same, and AI can instantly surface the corporate policy. It can flag the legal risks based on UAE labor law, but when a high-performing sales director is accused of harassment by a junior coordinator, who is telling the truth? What is the unwritten context? What outcome is truly fair and equitable for the human being involved? The algorithm cannot weigh the human soul. That judgment remains irreducibly, profoundly human. 5. Organization development and DEI, the quality of intervention. A weak OD practitioner runs a generic workshop that changes absolutely nothing. They read from a PowerPoint, check a compliance box, and the organization remains stagnant. A strong OD architect shifts the entire trajectory of the enterprise. They diagnose the invisible friction within the executive team and execute interventions that completely rewire how the company operates. The value lives entirely in the localized, empathetic quality of the human intervention. AI cannot replicate organization trust, but it cannot heal a broken corporate culture. Phase 2. The floor versus the ceiling. There is one specific line from that AI analysis that every HR professional must memorize immediately. AI raises the floor for everyone. It does not raise the ceiling for anyone. This is the fundamental economic reality of 2026. The floor of the human resources used to require a massive amount of labor, just making sure people got paid correctly, ensuring compliance forms are filled, processing sick leaves, and answering basic PTO questions required an entire team of people. AI has raised the floor. A company no longer needs a team of 20 to do that. They need one junior operator and an enterprise AI subscription. The baseline of HR capability is now universally high and universally cheap. If your skill only exists on the floor, your value to the market has dropped to the cost of that software subscription. The HR professional who wins the decade using AI to aggressively clear the floor, they automate their own administrative burden without hesitation, and then they invest every single recovered hour into building the ceiling. The ceiling is relationship, judgment, courage, and the genuine business understanding. These things were always what made great HR leader elite. They were always the trait that separated the apex chief human resource officer from an HR administrator. They just matter infinitely more now because they are the only things left that the market will pay a premium for. Phase 3. The retraining protocol, how to become future ready. If you are an HR professional watching this and you realize you have been spending 80% of your time on the floor, you are likely feeling a surge of panic. You are asking, how do I retrain? How do I pivot from algorithmic replaces me? You do not need another generic theory-based HR certification. You need a structural overhaul of your capability. You must become a hybrid professional, a technical operator who understands human leverage. Here is your retraining protocol for the new world. 1. Master AI orchestration, commanding the machine. Do not fear if you do have an engineering mindset like I do, you understand that an LLM is just a tool. You must become fluent in deploying AI agent to handle your operational need. The action. Learn how to use automation platform like Zapier or Make.com to connect your HRIS to your communication platform. Learn how to build localized, secure, custom GPTs trained in your company handbook to answer 100% of routine employee queries. The goal? You walk into an interview and say, I used AI to automate 90% of the tier 1 HR request at my last firm, which allowed me to dedicate 30 hours a week to coaching the executive team and restructuring. You must apply engineering principles to human resource system. I heavily utilize Lean Six Sigma and Kaizen in HR, and it is a massive differentiator. You must look at the employee life cycle, from onboarding to offboarding, and ruthlessly eliminate the muda, the waste. The action. Get certified in Lean Six Sigma, Green Belt or Black Belt. And the goal? View the HR department not as a support function but as an industrial pipeline. Learn how to map a value stream, identify friction points in your recruitment process, and re-engineer the organizational design to deliver peak human performance at scale. Advanced behavioral psychology and conflict resolution, because employee relations and performance management are the irreducible human core of HR. You must become an elite operator in high-stake human conflict. And the action. Stop studying administrative HR law and start studying behavioral economics, advanced negotiation tactics, and localized psychology. The goal? You need to become the person the CEO calls when a high-stake executive dispute in threatening the company's output. You must understand how humans miscalculate risk, how egos defend themselves, and how to pull the right psychological levers to gain compliance. Number 4, the financial and the strategic translation speak the ROI. You must stop speaking in the language of engagement score and start speaking in the language of profit and loss. If you want to sit at the ceiling, you must understand how your company makes money. The action. Retrain yourself in a corporate strategy. Learn how to read a balance sheet and an income statement. Pitch it based on mathematical reduction of turnover cost and the protection of intellectual capital. You must translate human behavior into financial impact. Number 5, develop strategic courage. This cannot be taught in a textbook, but it must be cultivated. Strategic courage is the ability to look at panicked executive in the eye and say, nope, we are not doing that, and here is a structural legal. AI will always default to the path of the least resistance based on its training data. Only a human has the courage to challenge the prompt, challenge the CEO, and advocate for the long-term ethical and the structural health of the organism. Look at the board clearly. The era of personal is over. The era of paper pusher is dead. The algorithm has come to the floor and it is never giving it back. But the ceiling has never been higher, and the demand for the elite, courageous, business-minded human capital architect have never been more desperate. The executives running these massive global corporations are terrified. They are managing hyper-complex technologies, volatile markets, and an exhausted workforce. They do not need you to process a form. They need you to help them lead. If you have a choice to make today, you can cling to your worksheet and wait to be automated, or you can use the AI to clear your desk, step into the boardroom, and own the ceiling. If you are an HR professional ready to completely rewrite your systematic approach to the modern labor market, the ultimate manual is waiting for you. For the record, my brand new book, The 2026 Career Architect, is officially live and available for download right now exclusively on namaste.ai. The book is a culmination of years of computer science and HR frameworks applied directly to the global human capital ecosystem. It contains the exact AI orchestrated blueprints, the system engineering models, and the advanced leadership architecture you need to bypass the administrative trap and dominate your trajectory. Stop managing the floor. Start architecturing the ceiling. Process the blip. Execute the strategy, and I'll see you at the top.